Hello guys, welcome to episode 91 of Gottne Till I Die, this FM20 save that we have carried on into the FM21 period because I just love this save. We have moved from seeing actual gameplay, unless we have something interesting that happens, just now to see half-season reviews, and we have just played through the first half of the 2035 season. I always said 2035 season, which was just a weird way of saying it, into that kind of mid-season break period. So things have gone okay in parts. You see we're sitting in fourth at the minute. We have lost some games, we've drawn some games, and it doesn't look too terrible. We're only 6 points behind Göteborg, so that's pretty good. The interesting things that have happened is in the form, but let's have a look at the transfers, who came in and who left the club. So some of these you will be aware of, some of them you may not be aware of. So let's do the release players. So I think you knew that Bowman and Laferd were going. I think I showed that last time. But let's have a look who else has gone. So Bilderbrick, he has gone out to Sirius for £99,000. It seemed a sensible move to move him on. He wasn't getting many games, the centre-back, so he was. It seemed a good place to try and sort of maybe bring somebody else in. Bakary Samare, sadly, he has moved for 40 grand to Dakar, Sacred Heart. And that is the club he came from originally, so he's gone back home basically. Unfortunately for us, Bakary was not getting games, and he's still got his passing ability, his vision is decreasing. There's a lot of things that are decreasing, so it's sad to see him go, but what a player he was for the period of time when he was here. I think the pinnacle was this season here, 7 goals, 8 assists, but what a man, he's done so much for this club. SodaStream, surprisingly, although we didn't get rid of him at the end of last season, I've let him go on loan for this season to Mjøndalen, which I think is in Norway. Unzagang, he has left and he's gone to FC Dallas for almost 1.5 million, or rising to 1.5 million. He wasn't happy. You guys knew that already. So, you know, he had one season with us and we got a reasonable amount of money at the end of that. As you can see, bought him for 220,000, sold him for 1.3 million, and potentially getting a little bit more out of that. So I think that's probably not a terrible thing. And finally, the last person to go, this was a bit of a hard one, Daniel Johansson. I'm really sure, I'm certain that this guy's going to be good for us, but he's gone out on loan again. So what have we done? Well, we've bought in a couple of goalkeepers, bizarrely. I thought, well, do we not want to stretch things a little bit? Maybe give Benediktsson maybe a bit of a push. SodaStream hasn't been doing that, to be fair. We did have a few games last season, but Benediktsson has been struggling a bit for form. So we bought in Oscar Carlson, who's a 3.5-star potential goalkeeper from, where did he come from? It was a free transfer, and he was at GAIS. I mean, he was in the second division, or the first division elite. You can see he done all right for them, so this is why I bought him in. So not conceded that many goals in that for that side, and hopefully he can do the same for us. And we also bought in Kenny Norgren, who's another 3.5-star potential goalkeeper, only 24. I think he looks really quite good. There's a lot of things in there that I'm quite happy with in a goalkeeper. His kicking, distribution, maybe not so great, but there's a lot to be good at. And as you can see, he has been playing a few games for us. The big signing, I suppose, is this one, Ushena Ulakan, who is a Nigerian midfielder. To be fair, he hasn't started a game. He's not played particularly well. He's still kind of finding his feet, I think, is the problem. A lot of these guys, they take a little bit of time to kind of get into the swing of things, so that's fine. We needed a bit of backup at the back, and I just couldn't find anyone. So we had this lad on he was on trial. That's the word. He's not as good as probably his builder brick, but he's only 24 and he's Swedish, and basically offers backup on the left side, on the right side, and in the centre. So that's fairly important. And we also brought in Ludvigsson at right back on loan to give a little bit more backup there, because we have lost a couple of players, haven't we, right back? So we were going to be losing a couple of players. You'll notice, rather strangely, that many of the people who were supposed to have left last season haven't. And this seems a bit of a bug in the game. Let me know if you have experienced this, and does it correct itself over time? Because obviously you see the loan players that we've got. You knew that Kanstrup was staying and Babbo was staying. I managed to get both of those signings in, but Boshi and Jonsson, Babbo wasn't supposed to be there, so it should have just been Boshi, Babbo and Jonsson. I couldn't get him to return. Were supposed to be leaving, but every single game it's sort of they just keep getting put back. Their leaving date, they just never seem to leave. I thought originally it was because of European competitions, but after we got knocked out of Europe, it continued. So they are still here. So we've got a lot of right backs. But the reason I brought in this other guy on loan was because I thought, well, at any moment we might lose Bushy, and then we've got virtually no one on that right side to give us some backup. So that is why he's come in. But obviously we have 3 players who may leave at any moment, but we don't know when. So let's have a look at the how things have gone. So we're starting the Swedish Cup. We were in Group 5. We started out with a game against Örebro. This was a game we dominated for long periods, and they scored right at the end, which was a little bit disappointing. And you can see that in the end, Örebro actually went through because of not getting that win. We then beat Eskilstuna 4-1, which was a very comfortable result. And then Sirius, who were at home, Sirius, who were the top division club, we didn't beat. In all of these games, we should have done. Just going through the goal scorers, Kamp got a couple in this first game, Henningsen and Bernovic. Against Sirius, obviously no one scored. Against Örebro, it was 2 goals from Kanstrup. So that was frustrating, and we feel we probably should have got through there. But it just meant that maybe didn't have so many games to play, and the board weren't so happy with it. Right, so the little surprise was this. So last episode we got knocked out in the group stages in the Euro Cup. And we finished 3rd. And actually, what I didn't realise, if you finish 3rd, you drop down into the Euro Cup 2 knockout phases. And we drew Anderlecht. This was an absolute corking game of football. It really was. Both of them. So I'll actually put it the right way around. Yeah, we won the away leg. We lost 2-1. This was a great game. As you can see, we got goals from Krebs. For us, they got a couple of goals. It was a really good end-to-end game. I think 1 goal was it didn't deserve to be any more than that. And then we played Anderlecht here, and we were 2-1 up for ages. Bernovic, Forsblom with the goals, and we scored late on. Jansson, who's just the forgotten man, got himself a goal, and we got through, which was great. Got a bit of money for that, and then we had a very tough draw against Sevilla. In the next round, and actually in the first game, home draw, I mean, they were the better team by far, but we drew 0-0. And as you can see here, we actually went through the first half against them without conceding, and then finally they broke us down and we struggled thereafter. But 3-0 aggregate loss to Sevilla for a team our size is not a bad thing at all. So I was pretty happy with that. I think Sevilla are a pretty big club to be down in this competition. Right then, so in the Premier League, as you can see, it started brilliantly. We won our first 5 games of the season. It was looking obscenely good. So newly promoted Dejaford, we lost, beaten 2-1. Kanstrup and Jonsson with the goals they scored late on. We were fairly comfortable in that. Against Brage, another newly promoted side, we again won 2-1. again 2-0 up, and they scored and then went down to 10 men. And although they were all a little bit closer than we wanted, then away to Unicuping Sidra, we won 1-0. Very pleased with that. Forsblom with a cracking goal. It was a while back and I still remember it, so that shows how good it was. Played Sirius, 2-1 win there. Late goal from Nielsen spoilt the party for Sirius, and Henningsen got the first for us. And then the biggest result we've had is a 3-1 win over Dusgaard. We absolutely smashed them actually in this. Forsblom, Henningsen and Kanstrup with the goals. You can see Kanstrup's not popping up that much, and this has been a bit of a problem this season. Played Malmo, and this was a disappointing result. We played poorly. They absolutely deserved to win, and deserved to win by many. And so we tasted our first defeat, but I think at this point we were still top of the league. Then we were away against the team with the long name. Struggled to break them down. We had chances, but struggled to get the ball in the back of the net. And you see, this is probably a very similar thing that's going on here. Again, against Häcken, we struggled to get the ball in the back of the net, even though we had a player sent off. For part of this, we were the better side, and we certainly, I felt a little disappointed that we'd lost that game. So, home loss against Häcken, never good. We played against Elfsborg, 0-0 again. Dull game. Against Kalmar, 0-0 again. It was very, very disappointing. The forward play was just not good enough. Against Norrköping, we did draw 1-1 here. This was quite good. We took the lead through Kanstrup, and they got back into it. A late sending off for them, but we should have done a little bit better. But a little bit of a silver lining right at the end here. In a real rip-roaring game, we beat Helsingborg 3-2. Brnovic, Diop, and who's got his first goal forever, and Babbo with a late goal. They kept pegging us back, but we just about got through it, which was really nice. So we sit in fourth in the league. We sit in fourth in the league. We'll just have a look how. So we were top at this point and ended up on this little bit of a streak down the bottom here. So fourth is not a bad place to be, and we have a little cushion ahead of Dusgaard, so we do want to kind of pick up. We are playing AIK next, so that's going to be a tough one. And obviously we're not going to win that because we never beat them. But I think after that, it gets a little bit easier. So we've got Hammarby, then a tough game against Göteborg, but we do need to beat them. We're going to catch them up. Then we've got Degerfors and Brage. And the other thing, because AIK won the Cup, it does mean we have qualified for the Euro Cup too, so we will be entering that competition shortly, and that's normally around here. So we've got that to look forward to. Further things that have happened since we were last together. So I've completed a coaching course, which is good. I can't remember what I am now. I kept asking them and they kept saying no. So finally they've said yes. So Continental A license, although we're apparently still studying for it, we must be almost done. We haven't quite completed it, I guess, then. The other things you'll see, we have improved both, agreed to improve the training facilities and the youth facilities. So that's going to be important later on, trying to get some of those players through. We also, I mentioned in the previous episode, have improved youth recruitment. So let's have a look what that means for the club. You can see here, we now have so adequate training facilities, so that will be improving. Below average youth facilities, which I think moves up to adequate, and then so I think this will move up to average, that will move up to adequate, so that's good. Youth recruitment is fairly basic and we are looking to improve that as well, but it's all getting a bit better. We're improving as we go. Development squad is still looking dreadful. There's nothing in there really to write home about. You look at the potential. Best player we've got in there is Robin Janssen, and I mean, technically the guy doesn't know how to play football. He's very determined, which is something, and he's brave, but how he's going to be a winger, God knows. I mean, he's got pace, but he can do nothing with it. So yeah, we're hoping just one of these times it'd be nice to get a good player come through. We haven't seen one of those for a long time. Okay guys, well I think that's pretty much it. let me know in the comments what you think of the transfers, what you think of the results, the sort of weird form that we've been having, and where you think we'll finish at the end of this season. Again, I don't think we're going to win the league, but I'm hoping to get in that top 4. Maybe a decent youth recruitment will be on the cards, and hopefully, if you have got any information about that weird bug with the loans, let me know about that. If there is something I can do, because I can't terminate the loans either, because that would be the way of kind of making it fair, but they're still stuck here. And one of them, Babbo, we're paying like some ridiculous wage for, and I don't really want to be doing that. But anyway, guys, if you have enjoyed this, please hit that like button. Please subscribe if you are new. Lots of FM21 content as well on the channel. At the moment, when this comes out, we should be hitting the 2nd season with Crystal Palace, as the beta save is extended for another season. I won't tell you what's happening there, but it's a kind of different sort of challenge now. And in my new save, the one club save that I'm starting out for FM21 is with RFC Liège, and we've just started. First few episodes of that have come out, and that'll be a good one to get on board with. Anyway, guys, if you like the sound of any of those things, drop over and have a look. If not, hopefully see you back here for another instalment with Gottne IF, as we try desperately to take the division title. I think it was Göteborg who won the league last season, and they're looking good again, so maybe breaking AIK's stranglehold on this division, because they won it for bloody years. Yeah, look at that, 4 years on the trot. It's going to be our year at some point soon. All we've got to do board-wise is finish in the top half again, so it's not too scary like that. But I kind of like to continue to qualify for Europe, because the European money is what is driving the improvements in the club at the moment. Okay, guys, see you again. Goodbye.